you guys are just like scared.
Scared you?
I'm sorry, guys. Like, I'm just like tired. I need to go to sleep. You know, like I didn't sleep like this whole day. I've been working. I'm a truck driver. My truck is parked outside. I'm sorry, officers, if I did something wrong. You guys can run my name. My truck is right there. It's at the pumps.
What'd you take today, man?
Excuse me?
What did you take?
I didn't take anything. I just need to get sleep. Like, I didn't sleep.
Okay.
I'm really tired.
Take your head up. Smoke meth or anything?
No, come on, guys.
When was the last time you smoked meth?
I'm just smoking it.
Do any coke?
No.
Cook pipe.
And what looked like a team of police officers and EMT workers there. That was the moment that Volodymyr Zhukovskyy was arrested for drug possession and actually being on those drugs while in that particular establishment there. That was back in 2019. He was arrested on this, but 6 months later is when an accident then occurred that involved the same Volodymyr Zhukovskyy, where he collided with multiple motorcycles, killing, I think, damn near everyone there. He was high in that first video there, and also, according to all these reports, he was also high when the accident happened months later. They did the trial, and apparently he's been found not guilty. Let's go to some details. This jury on Tuesday acquitted a commercial truck driver of causing the death of 7 motorcyclists in a horrific head-on collision in northern New Hampshire that exposed fatal flaws in the processing of license revocations across states. That's another aspect of this. You guys, there's like 4 or 5 layers to this that's all pretty devastating. Jurors deliberated for less than 3 hours after a 2-week trial, which prosecutors argued that Zhukovskyy, who had taken heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine earlier on the day of the crash, repeatedly swerved back and forth before the collision and told police that he had caused it. Here's a photo of the after carnage. Wait, hold on, don't put it up there. There's the photo. It's a little bit devastating in case people have been in these kinds of accidents. It's a bit of a devastating scene there. So from that photo, this is what one of the surviving motorcyclists described. He says it was just an explosion with parts and AI, I believe, or Al, had everything flying through the air. He turned hard left into us and took out pretty much everyone behind me. The truck and trailer stayed attached, and that's why it was so devastating, because the trailer was attached and it was such a big trailer. It was like a whip. It just cleaned us out. Imagine being on that scene. Zhukovskyy's truck was coming the opposite way down the highway towards these there were motorcyclists, so which made the accident even more devastating. And his lawyers, I guess in what seemed to work, this was what their approach was. A judge dismissed these 8 charges related to whether Zhukovskyy was impaired, and his attorneys blamed the lead biker, Albert Woody Mazza Jr., saying that he was drunk and not looking where he was going when he lost control of his motorcycle and slid in front of Zhukovskyy's truck. Prosecutors, though, they argued that people had seen Zhukovskyy doing all this swerving and back and forth and crossing over lanes before this even happened. Witnesses were consistent, he argued, in describing the truck as weaving back and forth before the crash. That behavior continued, quote, until he killed people, is what Scott Chase said. That's what stopped him. It's not that he made some responsible decision to start paying attention or do the right thing. The only thing that stopped him was an embankment after he tore through a group of motorcycles. So again, there's links to this story that I can recap really fast, because on top of this, Dan, Zhukovskyy has a CVS receipt length, a number of accidents and charges he's been involved with when it comes to driving. So he has issues with that. There's a bit of a track record, but I guess there was something that happened when it came to the defense team that put enough of doubt in these jurors' minds when it came to maybe that lead biker that also died for being drunk. And it maybe eliminated all these things, including Zhukovskyy saying, yeah, I caused that.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story and kind of shows that are some holes within our legal system and how these things are end up being implemented. I was actually listening to an interesting interview that our friend of the network, Emma Vigeland, did the other day on how like the jury system has never really been very fair. Just kind of you look at the incentives here. Like I don't know exactly what happened in this case, but one thing that can happen with juries is, the case gets complicated. You have like maybe a situation like this where a bunch of people are injured and the witnesses, one side saying the witnesses are giving contradictory stories, the other side saying they're not. And you have a jury who is like a jury of our peers, and they're like, okay, well, this case is going on for a long time. I don't need to go back to work. I don't get time off for jury duty to do this kind of thing. Let's just wrap it up really quickly and make a decision, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. And because of that, I mean, again, we don't know if that happened in this particular case, but it is to kind of say we need to start looking at when you have outcomes like this that seem pretty cut and dry. Like, of course, we have a system where you're innocent until proven guilty, but you have like you said, a CVS receipt length track record of reckless driving and reckless behavior from this Zhukovskyy character, and you have this terrible incident here. I mean, some ramifications, some better care. We understand that truck drivers are overworked, but this just seems like a case where there should be some sort of justice held here.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it also, I think apparently his immigration status is also at risk. Let's look at graphic 12. I believe it points it out there. Zhukovskyy, who was born in Ukraine, remained jailed as of late Tuesday afternoon. I said in a statement that Zhukovskyy has been served a notice to appear before an immigration judge and will remain in ICE custody pending the outcome of that appearance. So there's still potentially some other kinds of consequences coming his way. I was watching when they read the verdict. He was overly, of course, relieved, as anyone would be in that situation, and thanked them and everything like that. But it may not always really be over at this point. And those 7 families and friends of those folks dealing with it forever, man. There's so much death happening, and I understand car accidents happen all the time. So I feel like maybe we're highlighting this as something that's so much different. But it was the trial, and then so many people that are upset about that outcome that has this really making more news than others.